In our previous discussions, we have learned about what is ecosystem, ecology, and what are the different elements of ecosystem, the structure and function of ecosystem. Today, we shall see the different types of ecosystem. The first type, the forest ecosystem. We all know that forests and trees make earth livable. They provide us with clean air and water. By storing vast amounts of carbon and moderating the climate, they are one of the most important critical defense mechanisms against global heating. They are also home to most of the planet's amazing biodiversity. They provide shade, recreation, and sense of well-being, and they support the livelihoods of billions of people all over the world. The world has a total forest area of 4.06 billion hectares, which constitute 31% of the total land area. The tropical domain has the largest proportion of the world's forest, that is 45%, followed by boreal 27%, temperate forests 16%, and subtropical 11%. More than half, that is 54% of the world's forests, are located in only 5 countries, that is in Russia, Brazil, Canada, United States of America, and China. In India, forests occupy about 18 to 20% of total land area. We have already seen what is an ecosystem and the different types of ecosystem. Let us recall the different types of ecosystem. Ecosystem is a system formed by interaction of living organisms with each other and with their physical and chemical factors of the environment, and all the components are linked for the transfer of energy and material. Therefore, we can find these ecosystems are broadly classified into terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. The terrestrial ecosystems are further classified based on the temperature and the annual rainfall into forest ecosystems, grassland ecosystems, and desert ecosystems. The freshwater ecosystems are also accordingly classified into freshwater and marine ecosystems. A forest ecosystem is a dynamic, complex system where living organisms, including plants, animals, and microorganisms, interact with each other and with their physical environment, such as soil, climate, air, etc. It is an ecosystem of forests and resources. They are renewable natural resources. They are formed by a group of plants that are structurally defined by the trees, shrubs, herbs, climbers, and ground cover. A forest ecosystem may be as small as a tree branch, such as a microsite, where you can find mosses, insects, and microorganisms interacting, or as large as a boreal forest that encircles the earth at northern latitudes. The forest ecosystem consists of organisms that are interdependent on one another for their survival and can be broadly classified based on their ecological roles, such as producers, consumers, and decomposers. They play a very crucial role in regulating the temperature, environment, supporting the biodiversity, and influencing global climate patterns. The forests include both organic as well as inorganic components. Soil, animals, insects, microorganisms, and birds are the most interacting units of a forest ecosystem. Ecosystems are broadly classified into 3 major types. Number 1, tropical rainforest, temperate forest, boreal or taiga forests, and mangrove forests. These classifications are based on the factors such as climate, vegetation, and geographical location. There are, beyond these forest ecosystems, There are other types of forest ecosystems that exist, such as the temperate rainforest, the savanna forest, the coniferous forest, deciduous forest, and the Mediterranean forests. The tropical forests are also called as tropical rainforests. Now, these ecosystems are characterized by high temperature, humidity throughout the year with a 12-month growing season. They are found near the equator and known for their high biodiversity and abundant rainfall. The tropical rainforests mainly exist in places like South America, Africa, Amazon region, and Southeast Asia. They have the maximum species diversity per area in the world. It rains a lot throughout the year, but the temperature remains stable around 27 degrees Celsius. The key characteristics of these ecosystems include emergent trees, canopy, understory, and forest floors. You can find broadleaf trees, mosses, ferns, palms, orchids, jaguars, poison dart frogs, etc. These forests store 250 billion tons of carbon, acting as critical carbon sinks. Apart from these species, you can also find other animals such as snakes, lizards, monkeys, anacondas, jaguars, and small mammals in these forests. The temperate forest ecosystems experience moderate temperatures and rainfall with distinct seasons such as spring, summer, autumn, and winter. These forest systems are dominated by deciduous trees that shed their leaves seasonally. Examples include forests found in North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. The temperate rainforests receive high rainfall and mild temperatures which support large evergreen trees. The coniferous forests are dominated by cone bearing evergreen trees, including the boreal forest, temperature coniferous forests. The deciduous forests are characterized by trees that shed their leaves seasonally. Let us see a forest ecosystem, its structure and function. Just like any other ecosystem, a forest ecosystem is also composed of both living and non-living components which are found to interact with each other. These biotic components include plants, animals, and microorganisms, whereas the abiotic components encompasses factors like sunlight, water, soil, and air. They work together to create a complex and dynamic system. Let us understand a forest ecosystem food web, which is a structured network that drives the flow of energy and nutrients within these ecosystems. This network is built on three main groups, that is, the producers, consumers, and decomposers. These components interact in a complex web of relationships with energy and nutrients flowing through the ecosystem via the different food webs and food chains. So, what is a forest ecosystem food web? So, it is an intricate network that encapsulates a flow of energy and recycling of nutrients through the multitude of species that it occupies. Therefore, the core elements of the forest ecosystem food web are the producers, which are the powerhouses of energy conversion, which includes the trees, shrubs, and ground cover plants. So these plants not only are the backbone of the forest but also serves as the primary energy source for all the other organisms. Second are the primary consumers or the herbivores. They are the ones which are directly dependent on the autotrophs for their nourishment, which include species such as deer, small insects, smaller mammals, which can directly feed on the diverse vegetation. Their role is critical in transforming the energy just embedded in the plants into a form that supports higher trophic levels. The third important category are the secondary and the tertiary consumers, which include the predators and the omnivores. So, this segment of the forest ecosystem food web governs the balance of the species population through prey predator dynamics. The last level of the forest ecosystem are the decomposers, and they complete the cycle of the transfer of nutrients and releasing it back to the environment. So besides the tropical rainforests and the temperate forests, we can also find a third category of forest ecosystems across the world. They are called as boreal or the taiga forest ecosystems. They are also known as snow forests. They are found in high latitude regions with cold, harsh winters and short and cool summers. Examples of these forests are the ones that you can find in Canada, Russia, and Scandinavia. It is a biome characterized by coniferous forests, mainly consisting of trees such as pines, spruces, and firs. They are also home to a large number of herbivorous mammals such as the moose, with few subspecies of reindeer, and some areas you can also find populations such as elk and roe deer. There also you can find mammals and also reptiles, amphibians, and it is also a home for about 300 species of birds. Mangrove forests are found in the coastal intertidal zones and are characterized by salt tolerant trees. They are rich in trees and shrubs that can thrive in coastal intertidal zones such as estuaries and shorelines. They are the crucial ecosystems supporting biodiversity, protecting coastlines, and acting as carbon sinks. However, you find these mangrove forests are under deep threat, which are disappearing at a fast and alarming rate with serious ecological and socio-economic consequences. Let us examine the food web and food chain in a forest ecosystem. The food web in a forest ecosystem is a complex network of interconnected food chains illustrating the flow of energy and nutrients. A food chain, on the other hand, is a linear sequence of organisms where each level consumes the one below it. Producers form the base of the web, followed by primary consumers, secondary consumers, and decomposers, which recycle the nutrients. Food chain in a forest ecosystem is simple and consists of producers, which includes trees, shrubs, and other plants. Primary consumers include herbivores like the deer, rabbits, insects that eat the plants. Secondary consumers are the animals like foxes, wolves, and bears, which consume the herbivores. And the last category, that is the part of the food chain and the food web, are the decomposers, which include fungi and bacteria, which help to break down the dead remains of the organism and the organic matter, thereby helping it to return the nutrients back to the soil and the environment. Whereas in a food web, in a forest ecosystem is more complex than a simple food chain, as it shows many interconnected feeding relationships within the system. There are multiple producers, herbivores with diverse diets, and carnivores with overlapping diets. Let us see the services that the forest ecosystems provide to the human mankind. They provide a multitude of vital functions, including regulating climate, supporting biodiversity, and providing resources. Various goods are obtained from forests, such as forests provide timber for construction, furniture, and other uses, as well as non timber products like fruits, nuts, fuel wood, medicinal plants, which can be used both in traditional as well as modern medicine. They also serve various important ecological functions. They help in maintaining ecological factors such as carbon sequestration. Forests absorb significant amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, storing it in their biomass and soil. So, this process will help to reduce greenhouse gas concentrations and to mitigate climate change. They help in temperature regulation. They help to regulate moderate local and regional temperature thus influencing the rainfall patterns and reducing the severity of extreme weather events. They also play a very important role in water cycle. They also serve various strong cultural and social benefits. Their traditional beliefs and spirituality help to save wild animals from hunters and cutting down of trees by urban people. They also offer opportunity for recreation, hiking, tourism, contributing to physical and mental well-being. They hold very strong cultural and spiritual significance for many communities, providing inspiration and a sense of connection to nature. They also give support to the diversity, thereby contributing to biodiversity conservation. They also serve as genetic reserves, forests protecting a vast array of plant and animal species. The last is that they offer very important economic benefits, supporting the local economies through timber harvesting, ecotourism, and collection of non-timber forest products. The forest ecosystem faces multiple threats ranging from environmental degradation to human interference. Deforestation, climate change, invasive species, and pollution all contribute to destabilizing these delicate networks. Despite their importance, forest ecosystem faces unprecedented threats. Deforestation, according to FAO, approximately 10 million hectares of forests are lost annually. And this destruction, which is driven by logging, agriculture, urban expansion, disrupts ecosystems and releases stored carbon, followed by climate change. They also contribute to rising global temperatures, altered precipitation patterns, which shrink the forests, particularly in the boreal and tropical regions. They also introduce the invasive species which can outcompete the native species, disrupting ecological balance. In many forests, unsustainable logging and urban expansion disrupts natural cycles, reducing the biodiversity and weakening the system's regenerative capacity. The forest ecosystem faces multiple threats ranging from environmental degradation to human interference. Deforestation, climate change, invasive species, and pollution all contribute to destabilizing these delicate networks. Despite their importance, forest ecosystem faces unprecedented threats. Deforestation, according to FAO, approximately 10 million hectares of forests are lost annually. And this destruction, which is driven by logging, agriculture, urban expansion, disrupts ecosystems and releases stored carbon, followed by climate change. They also contribute to rising global temperatures, altered precipitation patterns, which shrink the forests, particularly in the boreal and tropical regions. They also introduce the invasive species which can outcompete the native species, disrupting ecological balance. In many forests, unsustainable logging and urban expansion disrupts natural cycles, reducing the biodiversity and weakening the system's regenerative capacity. So let us summarize today's lecture on the forest ecosystems. So we all know forest is a dense land covered with various plants and trees and animals. There are different types of forests such as coniferous, deciduous and tropical rainforests. Forest ecosystems are divided based on the adequate rainfall and temperature. They are home to many animals which fulfills all the basic needs required such as wood, timber, medicinal plants and so on. Forest ecosystems help in maintaining oxygen and temperature levels of the atmosphere and also prevents global warming. They also have got beneficial factors such as preventing soil erosion and maintaining the fertility of the soil.